Big Boss Jock Radio Show. Listeners are encouraged to rise up, revolt, confront the U.S. government, be part of the solution, join up with the revolution, liberate the Confederate States of America, the Alamo, placed as the Capitol. Analyst Assessment, Episode 20. The clip being assessed was posted by NBC News, clip is entitled, Watch Live Trump Participates in Immigration and Border Security Roundtable. Posted on April 5, 2019. Airtime, 52 minutes, 2 seconds. 4 minutes and 1 second. Computer-generated actions. The brushing away, shoe fly shoe. Reminder, the border is near. Flies abound, flying around. Computer-placed misconceptions. 3:58, right before that. Computer-generated U.S. Army Corps of Engineers General is busy scanning. Appears to be the used car trader. Some type of want ads. Maybe is looking for a boat. Can't make clearly the images. Is interested in a good buy. Definitely is occupied. U.S. President addressed to the group. Doesn't mean much. General is more interested. When will begin lunch? Meantime, we'll continue to browse. Trader, check out further. He's quite interested in the want ads. If they're wondering, this comes from Script. The Script is being hosted at the website The True Conspiracy Forum. They're welcome to read the pages, along with take a pen and paper and write down Don's statements. Begin to understand what's being placed, because they're not Don's statements. They're USDIA computer-generated statements placed to the image of Don. 401. Statement made. Don. I want to also state there is indeed an emergency on our southern border. It's been loud and clear. People, it's the U.S. southern border. There's two countries. The United States of America, a line, which is the border. It's an international border between two countries. The one previously mentioned that doesn't get a name, has a name, doesn't usually receive a mention, is termed our, and the country of Mexico. The U.S. citizen has been conditioned to associate with the term our. By doing so, that's how they identify as part of us and are told what to do in the form of you. Wake up. Begin to realize the dialogue is computer generated. Those statements are not spontaneous. None of them. What actually went on at that conference, I don't know how that would be known. It would take a camera with a real, no digital images. They place the digital images. They could sit down the street, intelligence operators, put the images right to the digital boxes. That was the need for the digital. Everyone obligated to comply. Digital, computer-generated pixels. The intellect level, low. It's not our southern border, it's the U.S. southern border. The person must decipher, what does our mean? Well, is that the United States of America? Or is that America? Or perhaps the soon-to-be autonomous region of California? It's up to the one who is listening to decipher. And that will be and is based on preconceived ideas, then placed in our. Well, what group are they with? Depending on their membership. 4:10, 4 minutes, 10 seconds. Before the show goes further, another reminder. Court, May 23rd. Appreciate some assistance. People showing up. If there's any U.S. federal agents out there, make an appearance. Let the judge know. They might not know me personally, but they know the information that's being presented only, and I'm not speaking at current moment. Yeah, this also takes being inside, being subjected to the program, in this case, the Big Boss Jock, the entire life. There's page after page on the True Conspiracy Forum. May 10th. Current date, hundreds of pages. Many of those pages, it takes being a federal agent, knowing the operation from the inside. And I'm getting treated with this disrespect. I'm in court, one of the felony charges, because I stated I'm U.S. federal agent Earl Hawkins. Birth name, Earl Hawkins. And I'm stating it again today. I'm U.S. federal agent Earl Hawkins. Yes, I do have an auxiliary name. They tagged on me at 5 years old to keep me held in this program all of my life. USDIA. Fronting as coppers over at the Redding, California Police Department. Holding me against my will. And been doing so my entire while here. That means from birth till this moment. Held in a USDIA program. They get a front, put on the uniform from any agency, any department. Play the official. Arrest me anywhere. Anywhere in the world. U.S. National Security. When they need to be, they're USDIA. Four minutes, 10 seconds. Statement Don made. We're in court, and a lot of people aren't even bringing too many of the suits anymore. A lot of people that are bringing the suits, pretty hard from them to say there's no, and it's not an emergency. Difficult. Not facial expression. Oh, note the facial expression. Look at people, even to verse what's placed to the image of Dawn, it gets confusing. It's rubbish. And this is how it would sound coming from Dawn. We're in court, and a lot of people aren't even bringing too many of the suits anymore. A lot of people that are bringing the suits, pretty hard from them saying, to say there's not an emergency. It's rubbish. The thems, the people. Who are the people? Why is the self-proclaimed nationalist, the U.S. president, who is supposed to be determined at putting up a barrier to prohibit illegal migrants from crossing into the U.S. territory, why so much concern in not using the proper term, illegal migrant? The usage of the word people. Everyone's a person, part of a group of people, if they're with another. U.S. citizens, each and every one, fit the description of an illegal migrant. Another of the people. Four minutes, 18 seconds, statement Don made. We have a big emergency at our southern border. So again, statement Don made at 4:24. The United States had more than 70,000 illegal migrants rush our border. They rush our border. Thing is, see, there, for example, the United States was used separate from America, which will be proclaimed the name of the nation once ceded his territory to the autonomous region of California. The United States, if it were used again and again, that would be fine. But to mention the United States once and our 50 times or even more, watching the 52 minutes, pay attention, very few times will the United States be mentioned. The United States of America, I don't believe one time. Name association gives importance to the theme. I'll begin again. The statement Don made at 424. The United States had more than 70,000 illegal migrants rush our border. They rush our border. That's a backwards riddle. Makes the mind go back to the first part. Wait a second. Rush our border. They rush our border. So it's a double phrase there. And we have a military. They picked up that. We have a military. The commander-in-chief of the U.S. Armed Forces terms the U.S. Armed Forces as a military. And who has them? We have a military. It should be the United States of America has the U.S. Armed Forces. And that's been simplified to they rush our border and not even, well, that doesn't, it's we have a military. And these are great military people, stated Don. These are people that are strong and solid and love our country. But they can't the way they would under other conditions. And they're not a lot they can do, but they are doing it anyways. It's a big problem with that, people. Any who choose to understand the dialogue, follow along, they reduce their intellect. The English grammar is at a 4th grade level, or is it 5th? For many, the 3rd grade, they were doing better. And remember, this is computer generated placed by the USDIA. The statements, not this. The Big Boss Jock radio show. Oh, that is independent. There's nothing to do other than showing the public what the USDIA is up to. No affiliation otherwise, other than being held a slave. After over 2 years of protest on the streets of Redding, California, 10 months in front of the FBI office, over a year in front of the Redding Police Department, and I'm in court, a knife on my hip, partially covered by the attire, a green fatigue. And at times a raincoat, wore inside, used on me, on my person, inside of their offices. The document, the police handed back the knife after a temporary detainment. 5 days of a megaphone, 50 watts. 45-minute session. Well, it wasn't catching their attention at get-off time, 5 o'clock, so I decided to show up at 11 o'clock in the morning. Oh, they couldn't have that going on. That's nap time, snoozing. Couldn't have that rattle off the glass. Whap, 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 50 watts. They definitely know what's going on. Bullet lodged in the backbone. They find the situation humorous. Are amused over the situation, a man who receives no medical benefits due to their diligent work at concealing my identity. At the same while, a multitude of their officials surveil my signals. This is all being accepted by the public. And until someone from the public steps up, I need to continue being their slave. I'd appreciate a group showing up. Federal agents, take a look at the papers written. There's hundreds of pages. Current date being hosted on the website, The True Conspiracy Forum. Continuing with the analyst assessment. We're going to bring up some more military, and I want to also thank Mexico, because Mexico, and I am totally willing to close the border. Statement of Dawn, 453 to 457. Well, who has importance there? We or the country of Mexico? Who received name association? Who is we? The people? The illegal migrants? The country of Mexico named twice. And it rolls on the mind. See, that's a backwards riddle. Computer-generated place dialogue. And I want to also thank Mexico, because Mexico, and I'm totally willing to close the border. They picked up the fiddle. They know the tune. The tune is, and I'm totally willing to close the border. It didn't make sense. Also thank Mexico, because Mexico, and then mentions closing the border. The people are unaware. There's a technique used in the stimoceiver program to bait the stimoceiver, meaning in a subconscious state, get them to lock on to the subliminal code. It's termed picking up the fiddle after given is the riddle. The riddle confuses the mind. That's what is received first. It causes the person to go back to the first part of the statement. When they do, they're already continuing consciously into the next line or lines. It also can be a theme, a feeling, a idea given at the moment. They'll pick up that fiddle and at a later time play the tune. For the stimoceiver, that was the objective, meaning whatever needed to be accomplished, either another piece of the overall objective was given or the objective itself. They're using the same techniques on the general population. Subliminal programming at a heightened level. Listener out there, going to be similar to that story. Happened in the early 90s. First Gulf conflict, Persian Gulf. 250,000 Iraqis set down their weapons, put their hands up, walked down the side of the road, some in the middle of the road. Hadn't been confronted. Yankee is about to wake up to knock and take, confiscate the guns. The police state, crisis situation. Signed into effect by the U.S. Congress after they cede the territory, the western part of the continental United States, to the autonomous region of California, defended by what is termed the Border Patrol. Not U.S. Border Patrol, or rather Border Patrol. They'll understand there's 52 minutes to assess. Current moment, nearing 5 minutes. Keep in mind, dire are the times. Complacency, arrive will the date, confiscated will be the guns. By the police state. Be part of the solution. Do not allow the takeover. Join up with the revolution. Liberate the Confederate States of America. The Alamo, placed as the capital. I want only God. He's right here inside. He helps me do this rhyme, line by line. I do give my thanks, along with gratitude, for our one only God, Father in heaven. It's the Big Boss Jock, signing off.